Welcome. Let me present you a seminar which is called Mastering AWS Cost Efficiency, where we will consider case strategies and tools. I'm Ilya Reznikov. I'm working in Svitla Systems. I'm AWS certified solution architect. And let me say several words about Svitla System who presents this seminar. So Svitla is a global digital solution company. We have we are headquartered in California, but we have a lot of locations around the world, in Ukraine, in Poland, in Argentina, in Mexico, obviously in US, and some other countries. We more than 20 years on the market already. We have more than 1,000 of technical experts, different kind of engineers, and we have experience in different industries and with different products, and we definitely could help you with your product. Svitla is a AWS Advanced Tier Service Partner. So it means that we are membership of APN network created by AWS. Also, we have skills and experience to help companies to make the most of the AWS cloud platform. It means that we have a lot of technical engineers who are trained, who are certified, who has proved experience working with customer on different kind of projects such as consulting, migration, and some like more technical projects like improving DevOps or implemented DevOps practices, implemented cost optimization, improving security, and other kind of projects. Today we will speak about decoding AWS expenditures. So we'll take a look what we could be able to see from tools which are provided by AWS natively. Let me say that we will not like provide technical deep dive in order to how to like tune particular service or particular resource to be more efficient by cost, but mostly speak about how we could estimate, how we control our cost, how we could manage them. So then we'll take a look at some tools and services provided by AWS, review best practices, and take a look at some practical cost control examples. So what we could really get from these tools in like from UI or through API and in automatic way. Probably the first question which we should ask, why we are talking about cost control, why we should speak about that. So let us ask you a fill and answer on the pool. So are you satisfied with your current AWS bill? And honestly speaking, satisfy is, well, quite interesting word because it depends on size of your company, on your company goals. Let me give you some time to fill. Okay, you still has ability to answer this pool, and let me continue. Let me start with interesting story. Several months ago, we with the team published a post which is called Cloud Database Modern Approach in IT. This post spoke about cloud databases, so where we consider different kind of databases which we could use in cloud as a service in different deployment model from EAS to SaaS, discuss how to select particular cloud database service, but obviously because they are cloud, we spoke about cloud service benefits. And I mentioned that using cloud service benefits in general, organization usually able to reduce their IT footprint by shutting down some systems. And another what we spoke about, it was that overall spending could go down. So, and also in the In the corner of slide, you'll see a QR code for that. So if you'd like, if it's interesting for you, you may review that post. But after discussion, I realized that these things could, well, could be heard by people in different way. At first, it looks like sometimes people who heard about cloud benefits decided that after migration to cloud, the company could lay off most of its IT engineers. So it's like you don't need personnel anymore. And another what I heard that cloud services are cheap and will cost less than on-premise infrastructure. Let me say that both these statements are not true in this form. So at first, about, let me say it, myth one, moving to cloud services eliminate necessity to keep staff who manage it and support underlying hardware infrastructure. And obviously, if you migrating from your own data premise center to cloud, you probably don't need anymore this data center. So that's why you may fire engineers who support this physical facility. But it means that company still needs engineers who will work on application, on supporting infrastructure, supporting cloud infrastructure. So that is why engineers like cloud architect, network engineers, security engineers, DevOps will still be required by company, but they could focus more on business-related questions, business-related tasks. In general, these benefits which we could get from cloud after migration, it's part of AWS Cloud Value Framework, and you see this, it contains 4 parts, and actually what we discuss about staff productivity, it's only second part. And it also gives a lot of additional benefits to company. And if you are interested in this topic, we could mention that in feedback form, which we will share at the end of seminar, and Svitla could provide a seminar on this topic. Let me say several words about myth 2. So, unfortunately, most cloud services are not free. Also, idea when you migrate to cloud, the company should pay for those resources which used and when they are used. So during this seminar, we will speak about how to control and try to understand which resources could be removed in order to save money on them. And what is worse, without proper cost control, cloud bill could be very high, and it could be unsurprisingly high at the end of month, and that is why any company, despite its small or big enterprise company, should implement some cost control practices. So let us move to principle of cost control. When we start to think about cost control, about cost management, and at the end of cost optimization, we'd like to ask yourself, so do we really use what we need, and do we really have resources which we need? So, and also it could be some questions. So what we could change? So are our costs turning on off as expected? So when we change our infrastructure, definitely cost will be changed, and we need to understand relation between these two things. Because it gives us ability to manage our infrastructure, to preserve cost, to save costs. And also, and in addition, we need to ask yourself about, could we pay less for the same capacity? Because AWS provide different pricing models, and using some approaches like reservation instances, saving plans, using spot instances, we definitely could decrease our bill, but getting the same or even more resources. And this is the main idea when we speak about cost, that we'd like to go from left picture, which is like more or less standard, where you as much as you used, as much you pay. But having but understanding the infrastructure, implementing these practices, principles, you'd like to move to a situation when usage is growing, but cost is not growing at the same pace. It still it still uh, be grows, but well, slowly. Cost control actually contains two parts. First of them, it's cost management. It's cost management. So this is ability to uh, keep under control, uh, ability to give visibility of cost and keep them under control, and it enable cost optimization. Cost optimization is the second part, and this is ability to run system and deliver business value at the lowest possible price point. Because business should run, we need use infrastructure, and we need to pay for what we use. So let us ask you to answer next poll. Have you implemented any cost optimization strategies or tools? Okay, good. Okay. Thank you for answering. You still have some time to answer. And let me continue. When we like to implement cost optimization in our company, in our organization, we definitely need to discuss some design principles. First of them, we need to implement cloud financial management. So if we don't like care about bills, we definitely will not be able to control. We need to adopt consumption model by paying for computing resources which we consume and decrease and increase usage depending on business requirements. So it means that we need to understand our clients, we need to understand our applications, our workloads. And based on their characters, their peaks, and for example, when users don't are not using it intensively, we definitely may decrease size of our infrastructure. We need to implement principle to measure overall efficiency. So we need to understand that our infrastructure is efficient. So it gives us required performance, reliability, and other advantages. We need to stop spending money on undifferentiated heavy lifting and focus on customers and more like on business needs against just increase infrastructure and like expect that it will be enough. No, we should be smart. And also we need to analyze and attribute expenditures that allows transparent attribution of IT costs to revenue streams and individual workload owners. It means that infrastructure usually is quite huge and it could contain resources for different departments. For example, it could be some resources for financial system. It could be resources which are used by development department. It could be resources used by some other departments. And when we analyze our cost, when we analyze our infrastructure, we need to check which department consume well what, and depends on that it will be either okay or require some optimization. Uh, to implement these principles, we need to like use some mechanism. At first, wherever it's possible, we need to architect our infrastructure to keep cost in mind every time. We need to define metrics, targets, and review them on regular basis. We definitely need to use cost allocation tagging. Later, we will take a look what is that, and how they help us. And one of the also main principle, we need to implement optimization responsibility. So in the team should be, well, some devoted persons who are responsible for cost, because no responsibles, no control. Cost optimization contains several pillars. So at first, we need to right-size our resources depending on needs. We need to increase elasticity, what we mentioned previously. Resources should be like added or removed based on business workloads. It could be automatically, it could be implemented on scheduler base. Next, at next stage of maturity of our cloud infrastructure, we should pick the right pricing model and well, try to pay less for the same compute powers. Next pillar is optimization storage, and the fifth pillar is to measure, monitor, improve, and based on these errors, we see that this is a regular process. We need to repeat that and implement the principles and keep them in mind on regular basis. So it's not like one-time operation, one-time event. Also, let me mention that cost optimization is just a part of what is called AWS well-architected framework. All leading cloud providers provide well-architected framework for their cloud infrastructures. But, well, from my point, AWS currently is like has more questions and cover more like features of your cloud infrastructure. It contains 6 pillars, and the idea that based on your business needs, you need to tune your cloud infrastructure. Well, in one of several these directions. So it means that, for example, if you need high performance, probably your infrastructure will not be so cost efficient. If you'd like to improve security, add additional services, it's also will cost some money, and your infrastructure will not be so well cost efficient, but it will solve your needs. It will address your needs. It will be able to pass some, compliance checks and so on. But on the other hand, if workload doesn't require strong security or doesn't require some, outstanding performance, you may use less resources or resources of less size, and it means it will be more cost efficient. So that is why well-architected framework could be implemented by using workshops, and Svitla provides such workshops. If you'd like, we may put a note in feedback form, and we will give such seminar. Okay. Let me move to the chapter 3. It's about cost optimization in the cloud journey. And as a previous chapter, let me start with the question, could you specify what services you are paying for? Poll will contain 2 questions. So let me give you some time to answer these questions. Okay, thank you for answers. You still have some time for answer these questions, but let me speak about cloud journey. So when you move to cloud, or you start to create a cloud infrastructure, or you already merge your company that already has some cloud infrastructure, from cost perspective, we could like define 4 stages. First of this is investigation and design, which is actual for startups or for initial period of cloud migration, where team could try different services, understand what they need, use best practices in order to like try already designed solutions. After that, second stage, it's implemented and tested, where most or less solution was accepted, and we extend our structure to cover our needs to try to tune it to application or business. Third stage, it's production and growth, and the final one is operational. From cost perspective, we see that first stage is more or less on the same level, but obviously we'll have some peaks and gaps, and then it cost intensively grows. And on the latest 2 stages, this growth will not be so quick. Let me provide which pillars of optimization which we consider previously could be used on each particular stage. So at design stage, we definitely need to design, keeping cost in mind. And I'd like to say that we could use elasticity in order to try tune or create our infrastructure to our needs. Then at the next stage, where we implement our architecture, deploy application, already has some users, implement workloads. It means that at that stage, we need to take a look at storage, try to understand what we need, play with different settings, sites, and so on. At third stage, where that is growth or production, we more or less understand what we need. We already have stable infrastructure, and here we mostly could tune our cost by using right size instances, right size resources, removing unused resources, and at the last stage, keeping in mind all this principle. So it doesn't mean that we don't need to care about previous principle. No, we keep all of them. But on the operational, we also could save using reservation instances, saving plans, and implementing some other recommendations which are provided by AWS, which we will consider later. At first, as we mentioned, at investigation and design stage, we need to understand how our potential infrastructure will cost. I see that you have questions. Could you put them on chat? And I will answer that later. Thank you. And at this stage, we try to understand which infrastructure do we need. And I'd like to advise use such a nice tool, which is called AWS Pricing Calculator. This is QR code on this tool. It's free to use, and it allows any user, but it's usually used by solution architects, to estimate cost of AWS product and services. It's like more or less straightforward. You add services, search for what you need. Then you will be able to configure them, provide some different kind of options, and then you will see estimate totals, see estimated cost per service, per usage, and it means that you may play with like expected data, expected size, expected performance, and try to, even at this, by using this tool, you will be able to tune your infrastructure to, on the one hand, solve your business need, on the other hand, be efficient from a cost point of view. So let me provide you two examples. One of them, it's small potential infrastructure with EC2 instance, elastic load balancing, and elastic IP. We'll take a look at this a moment later, but let me say that it's not correctly designed from best practices point of view, because we don't include any networking in this estimation. But another example, which is provided by this QR code, it's much more extended infrastructure, and you may later, after a seminar, take a look at them, and probably you will be able to use this tool for your business, for your infrastructures. So this is how it looks. After you will add all required services, you will see estimate summary, you will see list of added services with approximated costs, and you may export it as CSV, PDF, or JSON, and share it from somewhere. Let me note that these reports are public, so it means that it should not be include some confidential information. Probably it shouldn't be used even company name and some kind of that information. After you design this infrastructure, you may update it. For example, this is EC2 instance. We may go to it and take a look what is inside. So, for example, it's called a Bastion host. We may choose region. We may choose even predefined parameters. Try to understand. Try to estimate what will happen if we apply to predefined workload. For example, in this particular case, for example, we know that it's, for example, website. A day it will be used by more people, but it's, well, say, small website, which is hosted on EC2 instance. And during working hours, it will be 2 instances. Otherwise, it would be 1 instance. We, for example, select type and family. Even try to apply saving plans. We hope that this site will be used at least for 1 year, and if we expect that our infrastructure will exist more, we may use other parameters, for example, 3 year and so on. And also automatically AWS pricing calculator provides us some additional options. So it asks us for expected storage, for example, expected data. And at the end, we may take a look at how calculation. So, for example, if sum is $3 in this case, it demonstrated us how it was calculated. The same about EC2 instance. We see a lot of points, hours, instance, family, and everything which is should be taken into account. So obviously, do the same by manually. It's not efficient, and so on. This is example which I mentioned earlier. It contains much more services. It's Fargate, ECS, VPC, networking, load balancer, WAF to protect our website, and so on. Okay. So thank you for answering this question. This short demo demonstrated us that in cloud we will pay for almost everything. So we will pay for compute resources, we will pay for network, for monitoring, for security tools, so for serverless. Present model could be different, but it means that for any benefits which we get from cloud, for any service, we should keep its costage in mind. But obviously, AWS provide a lot of features, and previously we spoke that AWS provide free tiers resources, which could be provided in different ways. So some resources are some level of consumption, some resources are free at the permanent base, and this is QR link to AWS free tier information. But also, for example, when you purchase account, some resources will be free till for 20 months. In order to give, for example, small companies, small team ability to play with different services and understand what is works the best for them. Also, AWS provides special pricing model where at first you will pay for what you use. Pay-as-you-go model, it's the most popular model. Then, if you understand that these resources will be used for longest time, you may reserve them and pay less for them. And it means that we may pay less for using more, we may consume more resources, then again reserve them, and it's a circle which allows us each time to pay less for more resources. Continue working with AWS infrastructure. Next stage, it's implemented and testing, where we already define architecture which will be used, and here we need to understand where we could optimize our cost, our bill. AWS provide a lot of tools where could be used at this stage. So most of them are included to AWS Cost Management. There are Cost Explorer, AWS Budgets, reports, cost and usage reports, AWS Billing, and also we'll take a look at some advanced custom solutions which we could quite easily implement. First of these tools is AWS Billing, where we're able to see previous or estimated bill for current months. It contains quite detailed calculations. So on this example on the screen, we see that we could drill down, expand list, and well, get quite detailed information about for what we are charged. Also, billing provide invoices, payments, allows to control how we pay, and later, if you see it contains some additional features, which is cost allocation tags, cost categories, and later we will take a look how we could use them. Tagging. I mentioned that using cost allocation tagging is one of the principle of cost optimization. So tag, it's quite simple thing. It's just key value pair. Tags could be different, could be of different types. For example, it could be technical tags like a name, application, which control particular resource. Maybe environment, one of classical tags, say dev, UAT stage, and prod. It could be some text for automation, for example, date time when it was created, particular related resources. It could be business tags, project owner, department. Previously, we mentioned that resources should be addressed to particular department, to particular business entities in order to understand, in order to be able to better understand cost. And also it could be some additional security tags and other categories. Tags are produced by AWS for some technical purposes, and it could be user-defined tags. And later we'll take a look how it could be used in Cost and Usage Report and Cost Explorer. Also, AWS provide such a useful tool which is called Tag Editor, when you are able to see, either select resources which has particular value of tag or even not tagged by particular tag. So it means that, for example, if you are not implemented some tag control techniques, and DevOps engineer or cloud engineer or architect still able to find those resources which was not marked and fix tags on them, or check which resources are tagged by particular tag, and so on. So it's quite a helpful tool. In order to transform tag to cost allocation tag, there are additional feature of billing where AWS provide all tags which are assigned to all resources in an account, and we able to set some of them as tags which we will be used in cost explorer and in cost reports. How it works? Once again, for example, we use tag which is department. It means that these reports will be able to demonstrate that for department financial department, these resources cost this sum. For development department, these resources will cost that. Okay, these resources are not tagged, they cost that sum, and it means that it's already some, like alarm for us, for engineer, for architects that he or she should take a look at them and understand why some resources are not tagged but still consume some money. Another useful feature of AWS billing, it's AWS budgets. So idea that you may set some as a budget for a special kind of resources, including, well, all resources, but it could be, for example, for EC2 instances only for several services. Also, budget could be set as non-consuming, so it could be, well, zero-based budgets. Budgets are able to send SNL alerts, and when as a forecast or real consumption exceed the threshold which was set. Another nice and I'd like to say powerful tool for understanding our spends are AWS Cost Explorer. So this is a screenshot from a real application. It's it's startup. We see that it was started 6 months ago with small network. Then it grows, and we see that consumption is also grow. And what we could learn from this picture as a quick analyze. For example, we see that okay, our EC2 other it's actually contains a net gateway. So this is VPC with private subnets, with public subnets, and we use net gateway service in order to provide access to internet. So this cost is stable through month. Next, bars is a relational database, and we see that at first it was it was growing, then it was becoming a little less. It means that we change our database plan in order to, because we understand that we don't need so powerful database size. Also, for example, another interesting thing here, we see that at the end of June, we added open search. We see this blue bar. But on the other hand, Elastic Container Service became cost of Elastic Container Service, this dark red, became less because at first we have a solution where we manage it Elasticsearch as a container in ECS, and then we move them to managed service. So even these shared graphs bars already demonstrate us a lot of interesting information. From business, we understand that it growing, and then its growth became like at the slowest pace, and it corresponds on this general cloud journey cost chart, which we saw at the beginning of this chapter. Cost Explorer is quite powerful tool. It it provides a lot of resource filters where you may select resources based on different filters and take a look at them, and it provides API where this data could be accessed programmatically. At the search stage, we already have infrastructure, and here we already say has application or system which is working, and it means that here we need to tune our infrastructure based on our needs, based on our workloads. Once again, here cost management tools are our friends in this to solve this task. Here, screenshot, we see that it contains a lot of interesting resources. We already took a look at Cost Explorer budget, but also it provided some recommendation. It provided additional feature set about saving plans and reservation. It provided trends where AWS using machine learning algorithm analyze our spends and provide this insight. That's also quite helpful. Next instrument, next tool which we could use, it's called cost and usage reports, is like more advanced techniques. It contains data about well, our cost and usage. So when we set this service, reports automatically put to S3 bucket, which also they has forms that allows them integrate with Athena, Redshift, or QuickSight. And usually it's after refreshed that it's really helpful. They could contain data based on hourly base and provide even public private price, and it demonstrates when we pay at the beginning of months for reserved instances. So it's really contains a lot of interesting insights which we could get analyzing these reports. We could analyze them by using some standard tools, standard services, or we could write application which will analyze this data and this application will fit our needs. One of solutions which are provided by AWS, it's called Cloud Intelligence Dashboards. So it uses a cost and usage report, but it also includes S3, Athena, Glue, and QuickSight services that allows to create a nice, good-looking, very powerful dashboards, even out of the box, which allows to, well, create foundation for our own cost management and optimization tool. Solutions which are provided out of the box could look like these examples, but obviously you may tune them based on your own needs, based on your own resources, because some company intensively use EC2 instances, other companies intensively use, say, container services or serverless. So based on particular features of infrastructure, these reports could be tuned or even created, and new reports could be created. The final stage, it's operational. At this stage, we can apply all of our customization pillars. So we need to have regular reports and review recommendations regular base. We may optimize what we use. We may exactly tune our instances. Increase elasticity because we already know our workload. We already understood what do we need. We need to review all our backup strategies and so on. Excuse me. Also, if we once more time refer to AWS cost management tools, previously I spoke that they contains saving plan features and reservation features, and if we already purchased them, or for example, if you intensively use EC2 instance, AWS provide us recommendations that, okay, guys, you able to save by purchase reserved instances, and it provides expected saving. It provide settings where we could select what works best for us, and well, purchase instances and save, and use the same capacity but at the lowest price. The same works with saving plans. So it's a different way to save money on purchasing well, compute power. Also, using these tools, cost and usage report, which we already described, We as a company, we may create a lot of different solutions, which, as I said, could be tuned exactly to your needs. For example, this example taken from AWS blog. So this is QR code. If you if you need to implement something similar in your company, we may take a look at that. For example, this use case could be useful for a company which intensively use EC2 instancer, where you may collect information about EC2 instances, process them by Kinesis, put to S3, at the same way get cost and usage report, join all that stuff by Athena, and create a visualization in QuickSight service. So we are able to implement such solution based on company needs. One more tool which I'd like to mention, it's AWS Trusted Advisor. It designed in well, way quite looks similar to well-architected framework. It provides recommendation for different pillars, but unfortunately, cost optimization recommendation are accessible only for enterprise on RAM, or business uh, uh, support plan. But in free version, it contains performance and security recommendations. Is also quite helpful. Okay, let me summarize. At first, what I'd like to advise you to do concerning your infrastructure. You please go through this list and try to answer. So you need to see payments and cost spends. You need to understand spends. You should regularly have well-architected framework reviews, which include cost optimization pillar, because reviews could be for several pillars, not for all six. And you implemented cost optimization efforts. Probably if you don't have any, well, if you are not able to put check for one of these points, probably you need to think about how to improve your infrastructure in order to be able to cover all these points. As conclusions, we discussed that cloud services have a lot of benefits, a lot of advantages. Companies should invest in cloud cost control, because, as we said, without proper control, it could be high bill. Cost management and optimization are continuous improvement process. We saw that walking through different stages, we each time need to implement cost management and optimization principle and services and use services. And if you just at the beginning of this cost optimization journey, we'd like advise you to start with standard cost management services and then move to some advanced techniques uh, which could be also implemented. Oops. What next? So if you like to improve your cost management, cost control, and you need technical guidance with that, you are more than welcome to contact us and discuss how we could help you. If you like to learn more about cost optimization strategies to heard about technical deep dive, we also could provide this seminar, because despite we discuss services, there are a lot of points, a lot of features of services where we could where we could optimize our bill. If you need to help or like to learn more about well-architected, we could provide well-architected cost optimization workshop. And if you'd like to learn more about AWS Cloud Value Framework, we could also provide such seminar. Thank you for your attention. Please ask your questions, and I will try to give you answers. But let me check, what do I have? Okay, I have several questions already. Let me resend them to public chat. Okay, one. Another one. Okay. Let me ask on these questions, and maybe some other will be said. Okay, how can I effectively monitor and control my AWS resources as a developer? Okay, thank you for that question. Well, as I mentioned earlier, AWS provide AWS Cost Explorer API. Probably API could be used, but it's quite straightforward. And if you use in your work any programming language which support AWS SDK, like C#, Go, Ruby, TypeScript, we recommended that you may use that SDK. It's really significantly save time, remove a lot of like low-level technical work, and well, using SDK is a good, effective approach. Another way, use cost and usage reports, because where it created, it's just CSV file. It could be packed in different ways in order to like how you expect to use them later. But indeed, it's just a huge CSV file where definitely could be parsed automatically. So if you don't want to use any of pre-designed services like Athena, you may download them, so create them, download them, and demonstrate data cost and usage data from them in your application to combine it with your purposes, with your workloads. So actually, a lot of it could be used a lot of in different ways. Next question: are there immediate cost-saving opportunities for businesses which, when they transition to AWS? Good question. So actually, there are like several. No, at first, as I mentioned, when you at the beginning of your AWS cloud migration journey, uh, you may use free tier services. So it means that your account just created and you have 12 months of services which could be used on free base. Next, cost savings could be obtained during a turning off on-premise data center, sell unused hardware and so on. As I mentioned, it's a part of AWS Cloud Value Framework, a first pillar which is called Total Cost Ownership Cloud, and also we could discover it in AWS Cloud Value Framework seminar. But even more, if you will do cloud migration with a parent partner like Svitla Systems, your company could be eligible for several bonuses, and refunding depends on your workloads. So we, as advanced tier partner, has enough expertise to provide these migrations. And before migration, we could provide assessment workshop in order to provide, estimate your infrastructure, discuss where you get, for which workloads you may get these bonuses. Okay, I have several more. Let me also resend them. Okay, there are two more questions currently. Maybe some other will be sent. So let me start from the last one. Are there any third-party tools to help teams with cost optimization? Definitely. There are a lot of third-party tools provided not by AWS. I could mention some of them. It's Cloud Zero, Cloud Health, NOps, Spot. Well, if your company is huge enough, and for example, if you even have a hybrid infrastructure with Azure and AWS, Azure cost management also able to manage AWS cost. So once again, if it's depend on your needs, but in order to like select or make a decision that you need to use this particular third-party tool, you as a company should understand your requirements, taking into consideration size of team, cloud maturity, business model, well, and no, obviously a budget, allocated budget, which you could afford to use in these services. Probably AWS standard services will be completely enough for your objectives. Another question, could a trusted advisor recommendation be considered as a silver bullet? And do they cover all possible improvements? No, I'd like to say that trusted advisor recommendation is a great tool. It's a great option, but as I mentioned, it's provided only for like advanced support plans, so it's not accessible for any company which use AWS. So that's why it doesn't work for any company. But also AWS Cost Management already provides some recommendation. We saw that it demonstrated latest trends, which are insights on our cost spends. Also, if your company doesn't have access to trusted advisor cost optimization recommendation, you need to, well, not even in that case, but engineers, DevOps engineers and cloud engineers need to set alarms to inform about, for example, cost anomaly detection, about like when budget exceeds its threshold, and so on. So even using standard AWS tools, you may get a lot of interesting information about cloud infrastructure, and it provides you ability to manage that. Okay. Well, actually, I don't have more question in my chat. Are there any more questions? No. In that case, thank you for attending seminar. I hope you learn something interesting, something maybe new. I hope your cloud journey will be efficient, interesting, and if you need any technical guidance, welcome. We definitely could help you with that. Thank you for attending.